Ever wonder why some groups seem to be perpetual outsiders, repeatedly targeted and cast out? Let's journey back to medieval Europe, where a dark and tragic pattern unfolded for Jewish communities across the continent. This wasn't just random prejudice. It was a devastating cycle fueled by religious hatred, economic jealousy, and cold, hard royal greed. Imagine this. You've built a life, a home, a business, only to have it all ripped away overnight. Issued an edict banishing every Jew from his kingdom. Around 3,000 were forced to flee, their homes and their belongings by the crown. Their synagogues were torn down, and they were falsely accused of ridiculous crimes like coin clipping, just to justify the theft. This wasn't a one-off event. France played this cruel game on repeat. In 1306, King Philip IV imprisoned thousands of Jews, confiscated their fortunes to fund his wars, and then kicked them out. But here's the truly cynical part. When the royal treasury ran low again, they'd invite the Jews back, only to expel them once more when it was convenient. It was a vicious cycle of exploitation, with banishments happening piece by piece from the 13th century onward. Then came the Black Death. Amid the terror and confusion of the plague, who was the easiest scapegoat? The Jews. They were accused of poisoning wells, sparking horrific massacres throughout the Rhineland. It was hysteria weaponized to serve an old hatred. The most infamous expulsion came in 1492 from Spain. The Catholic monarchs, Ferdinand and Isabella, signed the Alhambra Decree. This gave nearly 200,000 Sephardic Jews a horrifying choice: convert to Christianity or leave forever. Their immense wealth, built over generations, was plundered to finance Spain's growing empire, including Columbus's voyage. Portugal followed with a similar decree just 5 years later. Even in Italy, cities like Venice pioneered the concept of the ghetto, forcing Jews into isolated walled-off quarters. So, what was behind this relentless persecution? Why were Jews so often in the crosshairs? Well, it's a complex picture. While Christian Europe was exploring art and science, and the Islamic world was making huge leaps in math and medicine, Jews faced countless restrictions. They were often barred from owning land, joining trade guilds, or practicing most professions. This pushed them into one of the few fields left open: finance. Here's the key. Both Christian and Islamic doctrine had prohibitions against usury, or lending money at interest, to fellow believers, but Jewish law permitted lending to non-Jews. This created a vital economic role that someone had to fill. Jewish communities, leveraging generations of experience, became the financiers of Europe. They funded king's wars, merchants, trading expeditions, and even small loans for peasants. When a kingdom faced a crisis, a famine, a plague, a costly war, the rulers and nobles were often deeply in debt to Jewish lenders. And what's an easier way to solve your debt problem than actually paying it back? You expel the lender, seize their assets, and cancel the debt in one fell swoop. The religious accusations, the lies about blood libels, and desecrating holy objects were often just a convenient mask for pure financial greed. Yet, even in this darkness, there were glimmers of hope. Some rulers saw the value in tolerance. In 1264, Poland issued a statute granting Jews significant rights and protections. After the Spanish expulsion, the Ottoman Empire famously welcomed Sephardic refugees, allowing them to build thriving new communities in places like Istanbul and Thessaloniki. The history of these expulsions teaches us a powerful lesson. This wasn't an inevitable fate. It was a series of calculated man-made injustices where fear and greed were twisted into state policy. It's a story of incredible resilience in the face of unimaginable hardship, and a stark reminder of how easily societies can turn on their own. Thanks for watching. See you next time.